Welcome to 50 Movies in 50 Weeks, the Sci-Fi Invasion. I'm Joey Hollywood, and I'm trying to get through these 50 movies here on this Mill Creek box set. Yeah, it's going to take me a little while. This is episode 8, by the way. Just chipping through. The final episode of Disc 2. Sorry, the final movie of Disc 2. So 8 movies in, I think we're doing pretty good here. And this movie is called Top Line from 1988. The movie actually looks a lot older than it is. Maybe it's just because this is a bad transfer. But I was actually really excited going into this one. Like I said before, I go into these movies fairly blind, with very few exceptions. But this one I went in blind, and the first thing I see on the screen is Franco Nero. And I'm like, holy crap, that's the original Django. I like Franco Nero. He's a highlight every time he's in something. You know, I think this is no surprise, but I like Italian movies. I was pretty stoked. I was like, Franco Nero, let's see what this is about. And I was pretty intrigued. I was pretty excited, and the movie really let me down. Right off the bat, the movie opens up with like smooth jazz for the opening, and it doesn't fit at all for the kind of movie it is. It takes place in Colombia, I believe. At the very least, it was one of the Latin American countries, but I don't care enough to go double check. I believe it was Colombia. Franco Nero plays a drunk writer who is let go from his publisher because he didn't produce enough books as he promised, and they just let him go. They just give him a ticket back home, but he uses that the money for that ticket to investigate some stuff in the area to hopefully make a quick buck and to get back on top, because his first book did well, but his second book didn't, and he's just trying to crank out more books to make more money. And he thinks he can do this with the money he can get from this plane ticket. He uses this money to pay off a local who gives him a manuscript. And this manuscript has something to do with history. It basically rewrites history. This manuscript shows that a person of interest visited this country a long time ago and really disproves a lot of things that we have come to understand about history. And that's when things start getting interesting. He goes to visit the place where this manuscript was found, and he finds a spaceship. And this is the beginning of the end for him, because the CIA, the local police, and at some point, alien Terminators, like robot Terminators, start chasing him. And it's not till the end of the movie that you get a little bit of reasoning why this is the case. And it's because, just like in John Carpenter's They Live, there are aliens among us, and they're controlling everything. They're in every position of power. And Franco Nero has just stumbled across it. But unlike John Carpenter's They Live, this movie sucks. It's so boring. I was down with it at the beginning. It looks almost like a low-budget version of Romancing the Stone. I'm not sure if that's too dated of a reference. That was a movie I liked a long time ago. Hopefully you guys have seen it, so you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, it looks like a low-budget version of Romancing the Stone. It's got a similar character dynamic between Franco Nero and this girl. And yeah, it's interesting, but it's just so boring. Like, all the action scenes are boring. It's just slow action. Some of the scenes seem like they're like the no-budget version of scenes from Raiders of the Lost Ark. There's a car chase that's very similar to the car chase in Raiders of the Lost Ark, just not as good. But there was one thing in this movie that I can't fault at all. It was the highlight of the movie, and that was this alien transformation scene. It took a long time. People need to learn how to speed up their editing back in 1988. But yeah, it goes on for a little bit too long. It looks more like a sizzle reel of special effects. But it's cool. The alien looks cool. The transformation looks cool. I liked it. Too bad, though, everything preceding it was so boring. The ending is a little silly. But is this movie, I know the past few videos I've saying that these movies are not interesting or weird enough to be like movies you can watch with your friends and make fun of. This one I think you can. It's boring, but you get, you know, a little bit of alcohol, a little bit of the wacky tobacco, and this movie could be a lot of fun with your friends. Well, I'm Joey Hollywood. That's it for now. I'll see you next time. Remember, please be kind and rewind.